Thank you for coming. Eve was obviously traveling like she most regularly is. Sorry about missing last month, for those of you who were disappointed. Between me working on SassConf stuff, Ian and work, and Ian being in Maine and traveling, we just like totally dropped the ball on last month. So apologies, but we are back. Hopefully we'll be back. We have Dawn back in the corner. She's gonna be helping us organize. She's responsible for the fact that you got fed tonight, so thank you. Super nice. How do I work in mouse? I think the only announcement really for today is SassConf. If you haven't already seen this or seen me tweeting about it or yelling on the street corner about it, it's been all I've been thinking about. It's the third year. The first 2 years were in New York, but this year we are going to be here, actually just down at Bradley's Hall. Tickets are on sale, speakers are out, and you probably can't read this yellow text on this monitor, but through Sunday there's a 10% off code for your ticket. So if you are interested in coming, if you are potentially interested since you're local in volunteering, I am trying to figure out what like discount volunteer tickets might look like. No guarantees on that, just trying to see how it'll work, so keep your ears and eyes peeled. But oh, you have that weird backward scroll. I hate you.
No, everybody else has the weird backward scroll.
No, I mean you go down.
Yeah.
The terrible scroll. Anyway, some of
now
our
we're judging you.
some of our return speakers,
Well judged, thank you.
including this lady in the back, will be there. So it's going to be a ton of content, 2 days plus unconference. And also last point of interest is diversity fund tickets. So if you have the ability to add a little on to your ticket to help somebody who can't otherwise afford to come, please do that. If you think you cannot afford to come or are otherwise deserving, we'll be putting out an application. We're getting some sponsors and some people buying tickets with a little extra money so that people who can't afford to come can come. I think that's it about SassConf. As always, if you want to speak here, if you have any ideas, if you're trying to get into speaking, even if you want to do just like 5 minutes on something you learned, we are always looking for speakers. For the first couple months, we did like a 15 to 25 minute regular talk, and then like a 5 to 10 minute lightning talk, to try to get people who were new or just wanted to go like, hey, here's this cool thing I found, and just get up on stage, 2-3 slides, or no slides, just show a code pen or something like that. So if you're interested, if you're not sure if you want to speak in public or at conferences and you want to try it out, this is a really low-key place to do it. So please let us know. I believe there is a like Google survey thing you can take on atxsass.com, or you can just send us an email, atxsass@gmail. But I think that is about it. Last chance for waters and beers before we'll get started with Nick. Get your water? No?
I think I'm good.
Yeah? Okay. Nick is going to talk to us about accordions. My coworker suggested that he call his talk Accordion to Nick, but he didn't. Unfortunately for us, but I think it'll be a good talk all the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
How about?
Thanks. It's funny, because I'm usually the first person to think about that stuff. I'm like, how did I miss this?
It was a good joke.
Thanks. Gotta find where my cursor went.
I purposely hid it from you.
I understand. Yeah, it's going to be a fun demo. It's like, where are we at? Sweet. All right. Hi, everybody. How's it going? As we mentioned, I had the like the advance notice. I should have changed this to Accordion to Nick, but whatever. So I'm just going to skip the slide anyway. So yes, today we're going to talk about building a better accordion. My name is Nick Piesco, a UX engineer at Bloomfire. Our marketing team says that we exist to organize company knowledge and expertise and make it accessible and shareable with the people who need it the most. I say we take everything that is not awesome about knowledge and document sharing in your organization and make it awesome, and all y'all's bosses should give us a call. And I should also be on the marketing team, so that's good. All right, so we talked about accordions. So an accordion displays nested lists while saving real estate on your screen. So for example, search, if you have like a lot of stuff in a lot of different categories, like Amazon or eBay, you've got a lot of stuff in that sidebar there. Or navigation, especially if you're dealing with mobile menus, off-canvas menus for mobile devices. You don't have a lot of space, you're going to need to find some way to expand and collapse it if you have a lot of pages in there. Well, that seems oddly specific. I can hear you say through the pizza and wine. Well, we're going to build an accordion today, but we're going to talk about stuff that you can use in every project, like proper semantics. We're going to talk about animatable and non-animatable CSS properties. And also, of course, since we're at ATX Sass, we're going to talk about Sass. We're going to talk about mixins with default values. And as some of you may have noticed, it's 800 bazillion degrees outside, so it's summertime. And to me, summertime, let's talk about baseball. So let's just say we're creating a site that has baseball stats, where each team has its own page. So if you want to set up navigation for that, you can set up one big list of 30 things, but that can get kind of unwieldy. Fortunately, the nice people at Major League Baseball, they kind of organize things for us, right? They organized it by league, and into division, and then finally into teams. They kind of organize that for us, so we can start thinking about how we want to arrange this when we actually put it together. So we have this big list of 30 things, and we can break it down. So that's kind of how it worked in the accordion. So this is kind of how it's going to work in the markup. So first of all, we have a list. We have a list of two things. We have the American League and National League that encompasses everything. And nested inside that, we have the list of divisions. Each league has 3 divisions. And further on down the line, we have divisions. Those are also lists. Throw some more lists on there. So you notice we have a list of lists of lists. And so our final product looks something like this. If the screen went down a couple more floors, I could show you the whole thing, so please forgive the ellipses. You can see what's going on. So we have our navigation class. It's our main navigation. So we have our league list. Inside the league list, we have our list of divisions, and in each division, we have our list of teams. And then so on down the line. All right, sweet, we got a big fat daddy list to list, right? So let's just get expanding and collapsing it, because the whole idea is to save the real estate so we don't have to show all 30 things. So, for example, we want to make the name of the division clickable so we can expand and collapse the listed teams from that division. Easy enough, let's do it. So we'll make it a button and just assign it a couple classes. And again, through the pizza and wine, I can hear you ask, well, why more than one class? Because nobody wants to be the Muppet who changes a class name only to find out it broke the click handler. I've been that Muppet. Anybody else been that Muppet? Oh, yay, good. I was afraid I was going to be the only Muppet there. So again, a nice rule to remember is to keep it clean. You want to keep your CSS classes in your CSS and your JS classes in your JS. So everybody else on your project, and even future you, because I've broken my own click handles before, well, thank you. Okay, cool, but like I don't want it to be a button because right out of the box they have gradients and colors and borders and stuff, and I just want it to look like a link. All right, cool, well let's just not make it a button, let's just make it an anchor. You've seen these all before, right? href hash, void 0, just plain JavaScript. Don't do any of that, please. I mean, they work most of the time. Like I've seen some weirdness when you put a hash in there, but they all kind of smell kind of gross and hacky, right? So fortunately, there is a rule of thumb to keep things tidy. I think I came up with this, but I may have synthesized this from somewhere else, so we're just gonna go with it. An anchor goes somewhere, and a button does something. So going back to our code, check it out. So we have a button. We have a button that toggles the list of teams in the division, and then we have an anchor that actually takes you off the page, that takes you to the page with the Oriole stats. And so we have a button that does something, and our anchor that goes somewhere out that page to the other page. So an anchor goes somewhere, and a button does something. That still doesn't solve the problem we had with stuff kind of looking weird. Of course, we know buttons and links, they do look different out of the box, so we're all at ATX Sass, so let's write some CSS. Just paper over the differences with CSS. It is possible. And again, since we're talking about Sass, we can use a placeholder. And you saw the code pen that was up here while we were listening to our excellent mood music here. So feel free to jack the code I wrote so you don't even have to worry about it. So it's cool. Feel free to steal. All right, cool. So we have a button, and let's make it do something. All right, so we're going to use jQuery to toggle a class. So for those of you who aren't really familiar, so we basically have our button that we gave that JS class, so we don't break the click handler. So you take something with the class JS list toggle, you click it, it finds the next thing, right? Because we're not doing anything to the button, we're doing something to the list. So it finds that next adjacent sibling, and it toggles the class open. So toggle class, if it has the class add it, if it doesn't have the class, take it away. And we'll also set up some CSS to show and hide it. So start off, display none. When it's open, display block, and add a transition. We're going to pretend we're in a perfect world where we still don't need to like prefix transitions. I hope that arrives soon. Thank you, Safari.
Auto prefixer.
Woo! Don't get me started on that. I still have some PTSD trying to get that to work with our application. But that's another conversation we'll have later.
Nope.
Well, guess what? No, that doesn't work, right? So you click the button, it expands and collapses, but what happens to the transition? Well, we find out the hard way that not all CSS properties are animatable. Again, hardware lessons here. So animatable CSS properties include but are not limited to. We have color, opacity, transform, margin and padding, your position, your top, bottom, left, right, and height and width. There are a bunch more, but MDN has that list down there at that link, but those are kind of the highlights you'll generally use in your day-to-day sassing. All right, sweet, well, height's on that list. Let's adjust the height. Rock and roll, let's do it. All right, so height 0, start off with height 0, open height auto, because we don't know how much is in our list. Set the transition to height. Another gotcha, transition needs an explicit value, so auto isn't going to work. If you don't give it an actual value, the browser's like, where's auto? I don't know, blah. We'll just throw it out there for you. Okay, stepping through this. We're all computery, we kind of step through our problem, so how about max height, all right? So we start at 0, take our transition. You won't believe how long it took my other coworkers, not these guys, to get that, by the way. So start at 0, give it some ridiculous maximum value to we'll ensure that everything is going to show all the time. Woot, it works. But the problem is the browser runs the entire animation regardless of where the actual content on the screen stops, right? So it's cool like when you expand the list. So, hey, it works. Then you go to collapse it, the animation starts like all the way down at 8653099Ms. And so you get a big delay between when you like hit the button and then when you see the list actually start to roll up. And by the way, they did the math. 8653099Ms. It's about 23 miles. So somewhere in the Earth's mantle, your browser will start. Cool, all right, so compromise value. It's all about compromise. So all right, max height 0, max height 100 VH. VH is one of my new best friends, and I was surprised. It works in IE9 plus, right? I didn't think anything so cool would actually work in IE9, but it works in IE9. So again, if you're not familiar, 1 VW or 1 VH is 1% of the viewport height or width. So it's a nice middle ground between showing all of the content and having a fairly snappy response. Your browser is only going to have to go 100% of the browser height up, which is not terrible. And of course, this all comes with the caveat that this is a compromise value, right? So if you know the exact height of your content, you want to go ahead and use that instead. It's very important. All right, so great. We got a smooth, snappy animation. It's cool, but whoever's using the page, they have no idea of knowing there's anything under there. Like, well, great, American League, National League, that's sweet. What am I going to do with that? Well, let's show them that, the lists expand and collapse. All right, so this time we're going to toggle the class on the button because we want to do something with the button. We want to mess with the arrow, right? So when you click on the button, instead of toggling the class on the list, you toggle it right there and you give it the class list open. You just grab the thing you clicked on directly. So then we set the position of the button to relative, and then we absolutely position a sweet little Unicode arrow over there to show you that it's down. And then when the list is open, we swap out the content, shows you an arrow up, works great, we're laughing. However, we know about transitions and animations. Let's go one better, let's flip it. All right, so you set up the transition on the element, then when the list opens, you just take your up arrow and flip it 180 degrees. And we also use the same transition time and easing, so everything kind of goes as one unit, and it's all nice and cool and fluid and awesome. And of course, we talked about, like, what do we do with the list? Now that we're toggling the class on the button, another little piece of dark CSS magics, it's not a problem. We can make that happen using the adjacent sibling selector. So if you're not familiar with we have the adjacent sibling selector, the direct child. There are a bunch of really cool things you can do without having to grab that element exactly. So just as a little example, we have H2 plus P. That grabs a paragraph that is a sibling directly adjacent to an H2. So in this situation, I have a heading. The next adjacent sibling is selected, but the one after that is not, frowny face. So just a little something to remember. So applying that to our code, we have our list toggle. We have the list that is the the adjacent sibling to our list. And then when it's open, same thing, we got the class down there. All right, got a lot of heavy lifting here. Wise DevOps man once told me that if you have to do something once, do it. If you have to do it twice, automate it. Yes, so we're talking about Sass. So Sass, we're going to do a placeholder or a mixin. So today we're going to do a mixin because we've got some stuff that we want to send to it later. So, all right, one big mixin. This is all our stuff. We have our position for our arrow, or after our pseudo element for the arrow, and our list with our awesome max height, and then the classes when it's open. Cool. But you do notice we got some hard-coded values in there you can break out because you never know when you're going to need it again. So let's just say we have a few different lists of varying lengths we kind of want to make a little bit different. We want to be able to send that duration and easing separately. So you send arguments to your mixin. So we set it up with local variables for duration and easing, and then when you call it, go ahead and call it. Or you can even go one better. So you can set defaults. So if you just call that naked mixin, everything's going to work for you. And if you do want to change something down the line, you can send it those arguments, and you are rocking and rolling. So, all right, so in the past, 10 minutes that I blew through here, we built a better accordion, but we also can take what we learned today and make everything we build even more awesome. So you want to start with semantic markup. Make sure the markup makes sense before you start trying to commit crimes against CSS to try to make it work. It's very important. You want to use JS to toggle classes for your silky smooth CSS animations. Thanks, browsers. And of course, let Sass do the repetitive work for you. And you guys saw it earlier. Got some CodePen action, got some GitHub action, and then demo time. And now I'm going to see if I can do AV Club on this. And if I can work this backwards here.
Mirror your screens.
Ah, there we got it. There it is. Check it out. Flippy arrows. Yeah, And even you notice that I did kind of cheat on this because you actually do know the high degree content here because each division has 5 teams. But, we're talking examples here. And so you notice, so check it out. So I hit the button, automatic, it immediately goes. But you do notice a slight delay, just a little. So that's kind of why you want to use that exact height if you can get it. And you don't want to set the max height to anything really crazy and stupid. So yeah, it's on CodePen, grab it. And also if you don't feel like rewriting that button CSS to make it look like a link, that's in there too. So hopefully you'll find that valuable. And thanks.
Can you show us in the CodePen what happens when you make the max height?
Yes, it's funny, I didn't have the CodePen set up when I was test driving this at work, so I was having to go in and work DevTools backwards, and that was not a good time. So let's see if I can do this backwards and make it not be a good time. Come on, there it is. All right. I'd be really terrible if I did 8675309 VH, wouldn't I? Let's just not get it here. All right, over here. So I mean, this is going to look pretty nice here. Perfect, and then, whoop. Yeah.
It's actually pretty fast.
It's pretty fast because it's going 23 miles away. It's I've got to get this done in half a second. So I mean, it's not terrible, but you have that nice little, it's just. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So you just want it to be a little bit smoother.
I actually thought it was going to be way worse than that. I was preparing myself for 30 seconds.
Because you're giving it a timing, right? So it's going to figure out what to do. I was also kind of playing with this on this old ancient PC I have at home that didn't quite perform as well, and so it's a little bit staggery on the way back. But yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Do you have questions for Nick?
Yeah, questions, please. Questions, trolls, flames, cash donations. Sweet. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Does anybody have anything that they want to?
Should I put the music back on?
Sure. Does anybody have anything they want to? We have plenty of time, so Q&A for Nick or for anybody, anything that you're working on that you want to show, or if you have questions you want to workshop. We actually have at least half an hour. We get
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. That wasn't a at you. That was really great. I just sometimes we start longer and we have a long way. So
demo, so we can be online or not?
Yes. Actually, if you.
So little, so I can review.
It is very little.
In general, I understand.
Yeah, no, exactly, for sure.
I was worried it's my code.
I'll try it down and see you.
Yeah,
No problem.
I'm pretty
Sure.
just oh, you're going snickering.
Yeah. I'll make it last one.
Nick, if you want to tweet your slide link and the CodePen link,
Absolutely.
we will retweet that so everybody. We
Also
will
write it down for you. All right,
Yeah.
I will do that, not a problem.
Anything else?
We'll get the music going. I'm starting to get nervous.
Surely somebody's working on something cool that they can share. We didn't even have a sponsor to talk today, so it's extra.
I know, I was really counting on the sponsor talk to fill up some time.
I know.
Have any pet
Who was the
projects?
sponsor today?
No, there was not an official like particular sponsor for today. So your pizza and drinks comes from donations from many previous sponsors, but nobody was here particularly.
There you go.
So much
No problem.
I mean, I can give you a pitch about how cool it is to work here. You tell me not if you want. If you feel like the sponsor talk was like really missing from your evenings, like
I haven't felt like I've been pitched enough today.
yeah, no. Well, we're hiring. Actually, I don't know if we're hiring. I don't think we're hiring. I lied. Who's going to TXJS? Anybody TXJSing tomorrow?
Are they? They're live streaming this stuff. Are they live streaming this stuff again? Are they? They've
Are you
done it
lying to
before.
me?
No. Are they? I was about to say that. I'm sorry.
No, I have no idea.
Okay. I know they've done it before, but
I know TXJS or JSConf.
I think TXJS did at least a couple years ago. I don't know if they did it once.
I didn't know that.
I remember
That's
killing
cool.
a slow Friday with that.
Nice. That should be a good time. There is their opening party is tonight at Craft Pride after this. You do not need a ticket to go. You just don't get free drinks if you don't have a TXJS ticket, but Craft Pride is just there, so you can come hang out if you want to.
More
And meet
pizza.
some famous JavaScript people. Yeah. What else?
I'm going to skip Huey list this time. Sorry. Walt.
Oh,
What?
no.
Oh,
You should
okay.
do only that.
Oh, well, I'll continue the Huey list that played before. So just repeat this one track.